What's up everyone, we're back at it again. My name is Brad and welcome back to my channel. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about one of my favorite plants, the ZZ plant. I've grown this plant for about 3 years and I picked up some tips and tricks along the way that I want to share with you as well. Before I do though, let me invite you to quickly subscribe to the channel. It's totally free and would mean a lot. Thank you so much. Now let's get to really talking about some of the tips and tricks of how to care for the beautiful ZZ plant. So the ZZ plant is perhaps one of my favorite houseplants, and there are a couple of reasons why. The first reason why I consider it one of my favorite houseplants is just because of the ease of care. Even with giving your ZZ plant some neglect on purpose or not on purpose, your ZZ plant will still manage to survive and push out growth at the same time. Ultimately, we're not looking for plants to just survive. We also want them to thrive. But just the resiliency of the ZZ plant just goes to show or contributes to, in my opinion, one of the reasons why it's such a great house plant. For this particular ZZ plant, I really don't water it much at all, especially in the winter time. I probably watered this plant maybe once or twice throughout the entire winter. And now that I'm getting back into the growing season, I'm going to find myself watering it more frequently, but still not nearly as much as I would other tropical houseplants. So I'm probably going to water about once a month, and your ZZ plant really could use even less water. One of the reasons why your ZZ plant can use even less water than some of your other tropical houseplants, such as fiddle leaf figs or rubber trees or pothos, philodendron, is really because of the rhizome that exists underneath the soil. This bulge-like structure really stores a lot of water. And when your plant is thirsty for water, water is going to draw from that rhizome to help feed it. Now, you don't want to get to the point to where you're constantly relying on that rhizome to feed your ZZ plant, but just know that you can. You can go on vacation for a week, 2 weeks, and you don't have to have anyone really babysit this plant because it will push out the growth. And on the topic of growth, let's really talk about what the ZZ plant looks like as it's growing. You'll notice that you'll have these stem-like structures jut out from the rhizome that is maybe under the soil, maybe slightly exposed from the soil. And as these stalks jut up, they're really wrapped in a sheath. That sheath is holding a lot of leaves from your ZZ plant, and as that plant begins to rise up or continue to rise up, you'll notice that the leaves will slowly start to really, I don't even want to call it an unfurling because it's not an unfurl of a classical sense of a plant, but you'll notice that they'll start to open up from the top going all the way down to the bottom. It's quite beautiful. And the ZZ plant also has a beautiful leaf structure too. If you look really closely at a ZZ plant, you'll notice that it has a vein-like structure on its beautiful glossy leaves. And you want to make sure that those glossy leaves remain that deep, rich, dark green color. If your plant is starting to lose that color, that could be a sign that your ZZ plant is being malnourished. It could be a sign that your ZZ plant is being overwatered or underwatered. But just know that what you're ultimately trying to achieve with the ZZ plant is to have that dark green color. If you like videos like this and want to continue to see more videos about houseplant tips and tricks, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. It's totally free and would mean a lot. Let's get to 1,100 subscribers. With that, let's get back into the video. Light is also one of those things where I talk about in a lot of my videos when it comes to taking care of your houseplants. And when we talk about lighting, especially for the ZZ plant, and this also really piggies back on this idea of the ZZ plant being a very easy house plant to take care of, your ZZ plant can stand and tolerate a whole range of lights. I'm talking low light conditions all the way up to bright, direct sunlight if your leaves are properly acclimated. Last growing season, I actually had this ZZ plant outside and it really suffered no kind of leaf scorch or leaf burn at all. It did pretty well actually. And when your ZZ plant is outside, you'll notice that you'll get more stalks growing up more frequently. Now, one thing you want to be mindful of is that if you do keep your ZZ plant indoors, It does prefer to have bright indirect sunlight, but it can tolerate medium to low light conditions. This particular ZZ plant, when I'm keeping it inside, I actually do give it about, I'll say, medium light range. And even with giving it that medium light, it's already shot up a couple of stalks already, which is absolutely beautiful. If you put your ZZ plant in a low light condition, do know that it will be detrimental to the overall growth of your ZZ plant, especially if you're trying to get something a bit more vigorous. So just again, be mindful of that. And it all really depends on what do you have available to you in your house. Some people have a lot more light than others, or a lot more natural light than others. But if you have any amount of light, your ZZ plant will be okay. To fertilize, not to fertilize, it really is a matter of opinion when it comes to taking care of a plant like this that really isn't that reliant on frequent watering. I do like to give my ZZ plant one boost of fertilizer at the beginning of the growing season. I give it a full dosage of fertilizer. I don't do any kind of cutting or half dosage. Full dose, one drink, and it's good to go for the rest of the growing season. And the reason why I do that is because I do know, again, that the ZZ plant is storing a lot of that nutrient-rich water in those rhizomes that are underneath the soil. And I do know, too, that the plant will begin to withdraw from that water store if it feels like it needs it throughout the growing season. And chances are, with how I operate with my plants, it will need to rely on that water store at some point. I would love to hear some of your tips and tricks when it comes to taking care of your ZZ plant. Mike, for instance, where do you keep your ZZ plant? Do you keep it next to a window up against it? Do you keep it pulled a bit away from the window so it gets more medium light? Do you have it stuck in a pitch black closet somewhere and it's still miraculously growing? Or are you someone who likes to keep your ZZ plant outside where it gets that bright direct sunlight? Please let me know and let's start a discussion. That pretty much wraps up this video about how I've taken care of my ZZ plant over the past couple of years. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. Again, my name is Brad, and I'll see you on the next one.